Good morning, Facebook, and welcome back to another segment of our Vaping Jeopardy. All right, we had lots of fun last week guessing the answers to the Jeopardy questions. Today we'll finish our board we'll start with vaping nicotine. Vaping nicotine. So we'll start off with vaping nicotine for 200. Vaping nicotine for 200. This first question for 200 points is true or false? Trying an e-cig vapor for one time and one time only is not risky. True or false? This is for 200 points. Where's my Facebook family? Okay, so I'll go ahead and answer that, Facebook. I'll give you the answer to that. That answer is false. Yes, trying an e-cigarette or vapor for the first time or one time is risky. Yes, it is risky. All right. So we're all learning about vaping nicotine. So let's try vaping nicotine for 400. Okay? We have anyone that want to participate?
Good morning, Miss Taylor. Good morning, Miss Patricia Fuller.
We have another true or false question for 400. Almost 50,000 people in the U.S. die each year from smoking tobacco. True or false? Almost 50,000 people die in the U.S. every year from smoking tobacco, nicotine.
If you think you know the answer, you can just go ahead and type it in our box, please.
That'll be true or false. Okay, so no one wants to take a guess at that answer. That answer is false. It is not 50,000, it's 500,000 that die each year from tobacco smoking, nicotine. Okay, we're still learning. Let's do vaping nicotine for 600. Okay.
Good morning, Miss Brown.
Vaping for 600. Vaping nicotine for 600. And the question is, how many times a day do you need to vape to get a lung and mouth damage? How many times a day do you need to vape to damage the lungs and the teeth? Let's say the teeth instead of the mouth. Let's say teeth and gums. How many times?
Good morning, Ashley Hall.
For 600. How many times a day do you need to vape to get damage to the lungs and the mouth, the gums, the teeth? We're talking about vaping nicotine. Any answers? Any responders? Okay, I'll go ahead and answer that question. Any amount of vape can potentially cause damage. That's any amount of vaping. Just don't do it. Okay. Vaping nicotine for 800.
Miss Brown said 3 and Miss Darlene Taylor said 6. But you just gave us the answer. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ladies, for participating.
Okay. Vaping nicotine for 800. What is true? Now, this could be several different answers. What is true about vaping? There should be lots of responders for this one. What is simply true about vaping?
Miss Ashley Hall, she said we need multiple choices.
And that's what I'm looking for, some of the multiple choices. So, if we were to do multiple choices, we would say that vaping is electronic nicotine delivery device and advertised and targeted to our teens. Why is it targeted towards our teens? Because of the flavors, because of the youth saying it's a cool look, and everybody else is doing it. And of course, the peers are having an influence on them doing the vape. It's a fire hazard, or everything that I just discussed, or all of the above. Do I have any answers or responders?
Miss Darlene Taylor says it's very harmful.
Thank you, Miss Taylor, for that answer. If we were to put that question into a multiple choice, we could say that everything that I talked about is included in vaping. Okay? So thank y'all for answering those questions for me.
Miss Brown Alexander says all the above.
All the above. Thank you, Miss Brown. Now we'll go to our next subject, vaping marijuana. Now remember, this is Vaping Jeopardy. So, vaping marijuana for 200. Okay. Vaping marijuana may weaken what? Vaping marijuana may weaken what? Any answers? Any responders? Vaping marijuana may weaken what?
Ashley Hall says hurts your lungs.
Okay, thank you, Miss Hall.
Miss Brown says your lung.
Thank you. Anybody else with answers? All those are good answers. My response to that, and I think it's a better response, is this: the immune system. Okay? THC may suppress your immune system, making you potentially vulnerable to infections. So it's the immune system. It's also the lungs and different things, parts of the body. Thank you. Okay, let's do vaping marijuana for 400. Okay. Vaping marijuana can increase what? What can vaping marijuana increase in a person's body? I'm going to give you that part. In a person's body. Vaping marijuana can increase. What can it increase?
Miss Darlene Taylor, on your previous question, she answered your mind and body.
Okay. Great, Miss Taylor. Thank you for that answer. We're on vaping marijuana for 400, and the question is, vaping marijuana can increase what? What can it increase when you vape marijuana? Anybody Want to take Matt Dash for some answers on that? I'll go ahead and explain what it increases. Your heart rate. Vaping
Miss
marijuana.
Ashley Hall just gives a
Thank you, Miss
heart
Ashley.
problems.
Thank you. Thank you. That is correct. It is your heart rate. It may increase by 20 to 50 beats per minute. The rapid heart rate can continue for up to 3 hours. Very dangerous. This is vaping marijuana.
Miss Darlene Taylor says increase on your heart rate.
Okay, thank you, Miss Taylor. Okay, let's do vaping marijuana for 600. 600. What are some of the telltale signs of recent vaping cannabis or marijuana use? What are some of those telltale signs that a person has been vaping cannabis or marijuana use? What are some of those telltale signs? This is for 600. This is Vaping Jeopardy. We'll wait for some answers. Okay. So
Miss Brown Alexander says color their eyes.
Color of their eyes.
Miss Taylor says the munchies.
The munchies, yeah. You're hungry. You're munching. Thank you for those answers. Bloodshot eyes, a sleepy looking appearance, and lack of motivation and constant hunger. Munchies.
Miss Ken Williams said coughing.
Okay, coughing. Thank y'all. Some great answers. Okay. Thank y'all. Okay, so we're vaping marijuana for 800. Uh-oh, and it's an audio daily double for 1,600 points. A very large dose of marijuana or high concentrate of THC, which is what's in marijuana, can cause what? What can it cause? How does it make that person feel or act? A very large dose of cannabis or THC, which is found in marijuana, can cause a person to do what or be what? It's for 800, 1,600 with the audio daily double. We're waiting for answers. Okay, so let me help you out. If a person decides to smoke a high dose of cannabis, okay?
Miss Taylor said you to feel like an out-of-body experience.
Okay. Miss Taylor, great answer. Thank you for responding. I was about to give up. Okay. Anybody else want to answer? Okay, let me choose. Those are good answers, but let me tell you how a person feels. A person becomes delusional, and they start to hallucinate. Okay. So, anybody else want to respond? Okay. So we'll go to our next subject, and this is something new. It was also new to me, and that's vaping alcohol. This is vaping Jeopardy. Okay? So vaping alcohol for 200. Vaping alcohol for 200. Okay.
There's an answer to your previous question, Ms. Yolanda.
Okay.
Ms. Brown says, not yourself.
Okay. Not yourself. That's correct. Okay. So let's go with vaping alcohol. Let's see how much you guys know. This is something new to me. Vaping alcohol for 200. This is a true or false question. You are not at risk of alcohol poisoning while vaping alcohol. You are not at risk of alcohol poisoning while vaping alcohol. True or false? True or false? Waiting for some answers.
Miss Ashley Hall, she said false.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Miss Ashley, thank you for answering that. That is correct. The answer is false. Because with vaping alcohol...
Miss Darlene Taylor says false. Miss Brown says false. Miss Joy Thomas says false. You all are right.
Miss Joy and Miss Ashley, thank you, all of you, for answering that question correct. Now, let's take a chance on anybody explaining why they said false.
Miss Patricia says false.
Okay, thank you, Miss Patricia. Why is that false? Anybody want to take a mad dash for that one? It could be several answers for that false. But one of the reasons why you cannot gauge when you are vaping marijuana how much you are consuming. So that answer is false. Thank you guys for responding.
Miss Hall just said you can't measure alcohol.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Miss Hall. Okay. Let's do vaping alcohol for 400. Okay. Vaping alcohol for 400. How long does it take a person who vapes alcohol to become intoxicated? How long does it take for a person that's vaping alcohol to become intoxicated? For 400. Come on, Facebook family and friends. Anybody responding?
There's an answer to your previous questions from Miss Taylor. They just don't mix.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Taylor.
Miss Ashley Hall, she said minutes.
Thank you, Miss Ashley Hall. That is correct. The answer that I chose was instantly. That's an instantly intoxication when vaping alcohol. Thank you.
Miss Darlene Taylor says not long.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Taylor. All right. You guys are really smart. All right. Vaping alcohol for 600. Okay. This is Vaping Jeopardy for 600. Vaping alcohol. True or false? While vaping alcohol, a person can be in control of what they consume. While vaping alcohol, a person can be in control of what they consume. And it's kind of one of the questions that gets off into questions that we just answered. So that one wouldn't be hard to figure out. Vaping alcohol for 600.
Miss Patricia says false. Miss Ashley says false. Miss Kim says false.
Okay. Great. Miss Kim, Miss Ashley, Miss Patricia, those are all correct answers. Thank you for responding. And the answer that I chose is false. it is much more difficult to gauge it, just like we said before, just how much the vapor that is going into the lungs. So you're also damaging the lungs.
Miss Taylor say false.
Thank you, Miss Taylor. Thank you. Y'all are really smart. Jeopardy winners. Okay, vaping alcohol for 800. This is our last and final question on our vaping Jeopardy board. We've all learned together, so we'll be doing this last and final for 800.
Miss Brown says false to your previous question
Okay,
as
thank
well.
you, Miss Brown. Okay. True or false? If you are under 21, you can vape alcohol without facing any legal consequences. If you are under 21, you can vape alcohol without any legal consequences.
Miss Kim says false.
That is correct, Miss Kim. It is false. It is false. Thank you.
Miss Patricia Fuller, false.
Thank you, Miss Patricia.
Miss Brown, Alexander, false. Miss Darlene Taylor, all saying false.
Thank you. Thank you for those answers. Those are all correct answers. Yes, you can be facing some legal consequences under the age of 21. Now, today, that is all of our Jeopardy questions. And over 2 weeks, we learned a lot about dangers of vaping, vaping nicotine, marijuana, vaping, vaping alcohol, and our juuling. Okay? So, join us again for our next subject on our Strengthen Family on Facebook, or join us on Instagram, Youth Prevention 2020, or our new YouTube channel, Youth Prevention 2020. Thank you, and see you again for our next presentation.